so long, still in love. Do I really care? Hey folks, the Isley Brothers, Footsteps in the Dark. If that's not a classic and you don't like that, then, well, you don't like ice cream. I'm going to read a little more of it. In the dark, oh, in the dark. Why? I keep hearing footsteps in the dark. Forget about it. Hey, folks, this is Bad Brad Berkwood, and I am the host of the RSR video email bag. And while you're looking at me and saying, I love the fedora, I love the shtick, forget about it, forget about it, forget about it, make sure you sign up for the RSR YouTube channel. Okay? So you can get all these videos, folks. And as I told you in the last one, I'm playing catch up. Because Debbie, ketchup, it sounds like I said ketchup like you put on fries. That's the New Yorker in me. Catch up. All right, I'm catching up. Forget about it. As I told you in the last video, Debbie was on vacation. I had to do that, quality time thing, blah, blah, blah. And actually, it was fun. I always have fun with Debbie. I wish you were here, babe. Love you. Okay, now, I'm playing catch up. This is the next set of questions that you have sent in. Now, without further ado, forget about it. Let me sit back here and be comfortable and answer your questions. First question is, Bad Brad, I cannot say enough, brother. You are the most honest guy in all of boxing. Never stop doing your show. Your coverage of the four-state franchise is bar none the best in your area. Well, thank you for those compliments. I greatly appreciate that. My question is, can you give your ratings for each fighter and some thoughts? Thanks again for taking my question. Chuck C. from Skiatook, Oklahoma. Chuck C. from Skiatook. I know your mayor personally, David Sutherland. He's a great guy. Great guy. I see him at the fights all the time. Actually, I just saw him in Joplin. All right, he's doing a great job over there in Skiatook. Almost bought a house there. All right, forget about it. All right, let me do this. Because people are going to put words in my mouth on this one. Because there's a lot of people in my area that follow the Far State franchise. But I'm going to start out like this. First of all, keep in mind that most of the guys, first of all, it's Trey Lippy Morrison, Kenzie Morrison, Dylan and Jesse Cook, and Jarrett the Legacy Rouse. Okay? Now, most of these guys have not had over 10 fights. Only Jesse and Dylan have had over 10 fights. Okay? So I'm going to rate them on being fairly new to the sport. And I'm also going to rate them on the level of opposition that they have faced already. Okay? And how they've done against that level of opposition. Now, this can change as they move up. And this is a question that you can send to me in maybe 6 months to 8 months. Let's see where they're at. Now, let me start out with, Trey Lippy Morrison. Trey Lippy Morrison has trained with Randy Rouse. Then he went to Jesse Reed. Now he's currently training with Freddie Roach. Okay? I've said it many times. Randy Rouse is my paisan. It's not personal. This is business. He's a hell of a trainer. Okay? Trey still has things that Randy taught him. I wasn't fond of the work that he did with Jesse and the fight against TJ Jones. I said that. I was vocal about it. He came and fought in Joplin, and he was with Freddie Roach. And I said, it's too soon to rate him. However, I digressed, and I said I did see some Freddie Roach-isms, as I said, in him. And I also saw Randy Rouse. I was going to call him Randy Roach. Randy Rouse in him as well. So, based on his level of opposition and where I think he's at right now, and I did say in my post-fight wrap-up with Jarrett the Legacy Rouse in Joplin that now he needs to step up a notch. Okay, he's fought the easy guys for the most part. He needs to step up a notch. So where I'm going to rank him right now, and a lot of it is his power, and like I said, how he's progressed. I'm going to give him a C+ ranking right now, rating. Okay, C+. All right. Next one, we'll stick with the heavyweights. This is half-brother Kenzie Morrison. Now, Kenzie has had less fights, okay? He just had a draw, majority draw, which I scored 39-37 for Kenzie against Chris Harris, but I could see it going the other way, and I also could see it being a draw. I said that in my post-fight wrap-up. Okay, so with Kenzie, where he's at right now based on that draw, okay? And his last fight before that was against Lucas Overcast. He went 4 rounds. He did what he had to do. He was winded though, but he passed the test. I'm going to give him right now based on where he's at and coming off of the draw, which honestly he should have won if he would have stuck to the game plan as we discussed in the post-fight wrap-up. Randy Rouse, Kelly Coble, and myself on his feet working that jab, he would have won. He would have made it a much easier fight, but he didn't, okay? So at this present moment, I'm giving him a C- rating, okay? Next, Jesse Cook, okay? Jesse has, I think, the most fights out of the 4-state franchise. Jesse is in a little bit of a rut. Good fighter, though. Don't get me wrong. I've said it before. But he's in a little bit of a rut. Two fights ago, he lost the decision. Last fight, he had a draw. So Jesse right now needs to really, really win his next fight. That's just common sense. He has to win his next fight. So the pressure is on Jesse. He had an injury. He was ringside rooting on his brother Dylan and Joplin. Okay? So based on both of those things, okay, and with the experience level, because he is the most experienced one from what I understand out of the 4-state franchise, I'm going to give him a C- as well. Okay? He needs to win his next fight. He was moving along great, but the competition went up a little bit, and he struggled some. Do I think he can come back from it? Yes. But it's going to be very telling in his next fight. If he's a solid opponent, it's going to tell everything about Jesse. Okay? Now, next is Dylan Cook. Dylan is undefeated. He had a tough fight against Noel Escuedo in Joplin. There was a lot of booing after the decision was read. Now, I said I could not score it because I was really tired by that point, and I was just watching the fight. It's a back-and-forth fight. I'd have to see it on video to give you an honest opinion of who I thought won. The scores came in 58-56. A lot of people felt Dylan should have got a draw. Others thought he lost. Some thought he won. Now, excuse me. Based on that, okay, and what he's done so far in his career, I'm going to give him, at this point, a B+ rating, okay? Because no matter what the crowd said, and no matter what the others said, the ones that booed and the ones that were for him and the ones that were against him, or the ones that were in between and didn't say a word, he won the fight. He got the decision. He can't score. The judges do that, okay? So, and Dallas Cook, who was his dad, is a great guy, was very honest and said he had a very tough fight. It was a tough fight, and it was tougher than maybe it needed to be. But I'm giving him a B+ rating as of right now. Now, last but not least is Jarrett the Legacy Rouse, okay? He is, I believe he's 6 or 7-0 now, okay? I always say this in post-fight wrap-ups, and because it's the truth, I see him getting better each fight out, and the competition getting better, okay? Now, he's making adjustments for a fighter with his skill level. When I say skill level, I don't even mean skill because he's been a kickboxer, he's been MMA, based on where he's at in boxing right now. I'm giving him as well a B+ rating, okay? He's going to move up. He's going to take it up a notch, and he will. I'm quite sure. In his next fight, he's had a hand injury, so he was supposed to fight in his card. But as of right now, a B+, okay? So there is the long answers, because you did ask me, Chuck C, to do the ratings, rate each fighter, and that's how I rated him. And I think that I'm being very fair and very honest. If you disagree with me, leave me an intelligent comment on Facebook. Leave me an intelligent comment on these videos, and we can go back and forth and debate them intelligently. But if you attack me, you're a freaking hockey puck. If you make no sense, you're a hockey puck. All right? There's the answer to the first question. That was a long one, folks. Bad Brad, next question. Roses are red, I'm blue, and you know that I'm your favorite Jew from the Bronx. Oh, folks, I already know who this is. Janice F. You're back. Where you been? She goes on to say, yes, darling, it's Janice F. Of course, I knew that already. I have been busy, but never stopped thinking about you. Might forget about it, man. Here's my question. I got a brochure from my cable company for the Mayweather Berto pay-per-view at a price of $74.95. What are your thoughts on it? On this, Janice F., Bronx, New York. Janice F., my blue Jew from the Bronx, New York. Forget about it. I know you dig that. What do I think? I think this. I think it's a freaking joke. It's a paper screw. $74.95? Who gots? I wouldn't pay $29.95 for that joke. It needs to be on regular TV, where they had initially teased everybody, dangled it. It's going to be on CBS. Bullshit. It's not going to be on PBS, CBS, NBC, or any one of these stations. Screw. Not pay-per-view. It's a joke. I won't be buying it. As I said, I'll be watching Twilight Zone episodes. Forget about it. So there you go, Janice F. from the Bronx, New York. All right. Last question. Bad Brad, I know this is a boxing show, but I have to ask you, since I picked up your book a few months ago and was amazed at the diversity of subjects in it who love boxing. Being Italian, I want to know what Italian singers Al Martino and Jerry Vale were like, since they are both in your book. Signed, Giovanni T. from Lakeland, Florida. Giovanni T., one of my paisan from Lakeland, Florida. I've been there. Great place. Well, thank you for picking up my book, first of all. And let me say this. God rest both of their souls. We lost Jerry Vale last year, and we lost Al Martino, sadly, in 2009. Let me start off with Al Martino, because I knew him more on a personal level. Great guy. Love the sport of boxing. What a voice. Oh, my God. Hear in my heart. Speak softly, love. Daddy's little girl. Devotion. So many other great songs. Once upon a time, he was the bomb.com, as Debbie always says. He wrote a foreword, as you know, Giovanni, for my book. Okay? Lovely wife, sadly, his widow, Judy, who lives out in California. They were very kind to me over the years. Anytime I reached out to Al or Judy, whatever I needed, they always took care of me. Very classy man, knew a lot about boxing. I got an autographed picture back here, and it's right over here. I don't know if you could see it, and it's signed really, really nice from Al. He enjoyed our interview very much. I'll never forget when he called me and said, hey, actually tie into Jerry Vale, who you asked me about. Jerry Vale did the interview with me first. They were neighbors. Jerry loved the interview so much with me, he gave Al Martino my number and said, hey, Al, call this kid. At the time I was, was in my 30s. So to them, I was a kid. And he said, hey, do an interview with him. He'll do a good job with you. Al called me up. I was cutting my grass. Of all things, I get a phone call. Somebody says, hey, Al Martino's on the phone. I go to the phone. I couldn't believe it. Okay, I grew up on him. Johnny Fontaine, the Godfather. Okay? On and on and on. Great guy. Jerry Vale, the same thing. Both of them, Jerry Vale, a walking boxing encyclopedia. Okay? Had a lot of fun. I interviewed him when he was in his hotel room getting ready to do a show in the early 2000s. All right? Two wonderful men. They make me proud to be Italian. Forget about it. Like I said, God rest their soul. But we have their music, and we have the Godfather, as Al Martino was in, and tons of albums. Look at me, I'm showing my age. Of both of them. So they will live on in my heart always. All right, Giovanni T, there's the answer to your question. All right, folks, that's another RSR video email bag in a can. And if you want to be on my next show, send your questions in to Ringside Report 2014 at gmail.com. That's Ringside Report 2014 at gmail.com. Now, I want to throw this out to everybody. I don't usually announce it, but I am going to announce it here. I'm going to start doing it as a regular thing so people are aware of it. If you want to sponsor your company or advertise on the RSR Video Email Bag hosted by me, or Quick's RSR Video Email Bag that is answered by James Quick Tillis, the fighting cowboy, forget about it. And the answers are read by me on the show. You can sponsor either show. We have great packages, and if you get on board now, you get an extra discount. Again, if you want to inquire, serious inquiries only. Serious inquiries only. Said it twice. Send them in to Ringside Report 2014 at gmail.com. All right, folks, as Frank Sinatra sang so eloquently, so long ago, the best is yet to come. Bad Brad out.